Yes, it's almost here. My favorite day of the year is almost here. Dating Sim Appreciation Day. As time moves forward, video games change, the world changes, people change. First-person shooters are a given. They've been through so many phases since the days of Wolfenstein 3D. I do remember liking real-time strategy games many years ago, however. Age of Empires 1 and 2, Warcraft 3, Dawn of War, the Warlords Battlecry trilogy. I still enjoy my old favorites, but I guess that I've lost interest in the genre since I rarely think to myself, oh, I want to play that for a bit. I guess I also just don't like the direction that these games took. Dawn of War 2 isn't a bad game, but it's a different beast from its predecessor, with a lesser focus on base building. It's not like there aren't games with base building anymore, but honestly I never feel like trying them out. Which makes me a bit of a hypocrite. Ironically, the RTS genre has also been somewhat overshadowed by its own subgenre, which started out as a mere custom map for Warcraft 3. On the other side of the spectrum, there's the racing genre, which I feel has straight up gotten better with time. Racing games and I have a strange relationship. I've mentioned and shown Dirt 3 in some of my videos. In fact, I really like the game, but I'm not sure I'd call myself a racing enthusiast. When I was a kid, my father worked as a journalist for a local radio station. One of the things he usually worked on was the local rally competitions, and I apparently helped him take notes. I've also been told several times over the years that I used to love cars and knew all the brands and models. But strangely enough, the only thing in my memory that points to this being true is Rally Masters Race of Champions. This game is special to me because it was my first PC game and one of the earliest video games I've played, period. I booted it up every once in a while throughout the years and it was always just as fun as ever. However, I never really had another favorite until Need for Speed Underground 2 and its successors, which are only similar to Rally Masters on a superficial level. Then there was Race Driver Grid, which is much closer to it. Now, my go-to racing game is Dirt 3. It does pretty much everything that Rally Masters does, but better. The long-winded point I want to make is the following. Why would I play this when I can play this? And yes, I know that there are many different types of racing games. Regardless, these genres are still alive to varying degrees. But you know what I wish was more alive? Dating simulators. Wait, dating simulators? Do you mean visual novels? No. Do you mean things like Persona or BioWare games? No. I'm talking about the time management, stat racing simulation games where your ultimate goal is to get in the digital pants of virtual girls. The most notable example is the Tokimeki Memorial series. The first entry in the series was released in May of 1994 by Konami for the PC Engine, or TurboGrafx-16 as it was known outside Japan. It was a massive success and eventually got ported to multiple systems. The premise is simple. You play as an average Japanese high school student starting his first year of, high school. There is a legend saying that confessing your love to someone under the old tree will grant the couple eternal happiness. Naturally, it's your mission to find the love of your life during your 3 years of high school. Or die alone. The game itself plays out on a week-by-week basis. You pick from a variety of activities, such as studying, doing sports, or joining clubs. These activities can increase or decrease your stats, affecting your performance in academic tests and changing the girl's opinion of you. It's necessary to balance your stats based on what girl you want to woo. You also have to keep your fatigue in mind. Getting to know the girls involves a variety of events, such as walking home together, going on dates, or even a couple of minigames. To aid you in your endeavors is this highly suspicious guy who knows a disturbing amount of things about every single girl in school. He tells you about their birthdays, their 3 sizes, probably knows what kind of underwear they put on every day too. What a creep. Getting in your target's pants isn't that simple, however. This game is infamous for the bomb system. Neglecting girls too much causes them to get angry with you, leading to a bomb icon showing up on the relationship screen. Ignoring it will lead to bad rumors spreading around and every girl will begin to hate you as well. It's easy to let the bombs get out of hand, ruin your reputation and efforts, and make everyone hate you. Just like real life. A lot of dating sims follow the same ideas and mechanics as Tokimeki Memorial. One obscure example of this is the Pocket Love series, developed by a company called Kid. You might have heard of them as the developers of Ever 17, which apparently involves girls getting stuck inside washing machines or something. It got 2 installments on the Game Boy and 1 on the Neo Geo Pocket Color, but they all play pretty much the same. You're a new student searching for love, and you have to plan your schedule in order to balance your stats, money and relationships. There's no bomb system or anything, but the requirements for achieving a good end with some of the girls are quite steep, and chances are you end up dying alone. Just like real life. Pocket Love is pretty much your typical dating sim, but the gameplay is fun enough and the girls are cute. Dating sims on handhelds weren't exactly commonplace, and Pocket Love 1 and 2 predate the Tokimeki Memorial port on the Game Boy Color, which was released in 2 versions because of course it was. The most interesting thing about it is probably the audio CDs that came with the Game Boy games. These CDs contained voices and music for certain scenes, and even a theme song for the opening. They are kind of awkward to use, however, since you're supposed to simply play the CDs together with the start of the appropriate scenes. Kind of hard to synchronize unless you know the scene in question is coming. By the mid-2000s, dating sims were fading away. Why? I don't know. To be fair, dating sims were never super popular. The original Tokimeki Memorial was a great success, but most competitors didn't fare quite as well. The genre also had pretty much zero presence outside Japan. Otaku Publishing released an adult dating sim called True Love in 1999, 3 years after the Japanese Windows release, and 4 after the original PC-98 version. It got a mediocre reception in Japan, but was more well received internationally since there wasn't much else like it in the West. It also had a so bad it's hilarious localization filled with a complete disregard for punctuation and highly quotable lines. Continuity is power. Keep on studying. Oh, and I guess there were those cringeworthy flash games on Newgrounds too. Nowadays, even Tokimeki Memorial has changed. The last mainline title was Tokimeki Memorial 4, released in 2009 for the PlayStation Portable. Since then, there have been new Tokimeki Memorial games, but they were spin-offs such as the Girls' Side titles, in which you play instead as a girl in search of love from a variety of boys, which I guess is fine if that's your thing. The latest entry is Tokimeki Idol, which isn't a dating sim, but rather an idol racing and rhythm game. Besides Tokimeki Memorial, you have the Love Plus series, which is pretty much dating simulation on steroids. It even spills over into real life with its real-time mode, which is the main attraction of the series. But maybe it was inevitable and I'm just looking at this whole dating sim thing wrong. It's right there in the name, simulation. A dating simulation, but a simulation nonetheless. I mean, I don't hear anyone talking about train simulation or forklift simulation as a genre. You could also say that, in a way, dating sims are basically role-playing games. This is likely why dating sim gameplay is used as a mechanic in a variety of games, rather than being its own thing. The existence of this small subsection of games probably came from Tokimeki Memorial being successful and other companies trying to replicate its success, and when it died down, so did the primary incentive to develop this kind of game. In fact, a lot of these dating sims play almost identically to Tokimeki Memorial. Still, I hope you enjoyed hearing me ramble about a niche group of games as much as I enjoy spending my dating sim appreciation days playing these games. After all, there is no better way to enjoy this occasion, right? Right?